Professor Osho Muraino Olaiwola Lai Oso was born on October 8, 1955 in Shagamu, Ogun State.
He got married to Mrs. Abimbola Osho on the 16th of April 1983 and had 2 children in England, Simisola and Moyosola Osho, who are doing great in their respective fields today. Professor Osho was a successful family man that connected with his children and wife.
According to many of his supervisees, Professor Osho was a supervisor tagged as a destiny pusher who played a fatherly role to everyone.
When I was to do defense, my final defense on the December 12th, that time my mom was very sick and what I had saved was depleted. He was kind of somebody that he monitors you, even when you are not seeing anything, just call inside. Like, why was it that I refused to talk? So, okay. And 3 days to that, he called me and said, because I have details of his account, where I go to bank, you draw, I think it was 150,000 there. I will draw the money as you know bank. So keep the money, I will tell you what to do with it. Of course, normal every month like that, I have a list of those I sent money to from his own purse. He just give me the list, give me money. Yeah, send 10 to this, send 5,000 to them. I was thinking that is what. So he said, call me the next day, send 50 to it. It's okay. Said the rest 50,000 naira is for you. That's my little support, but that's not all. When I come after the defense, I will do.
Hello, Baba. Ẹ káàsán sà. Dáadáa ni sà, ọmọ mi ńkọ́ sà. Yes, sir.
Have you deposited the money, the 150,000 naira I gave to you?
Yes, sir, I've deposited it all, sir. Just as you said, sir. Just as you instructed. Yes, sir.
Send 50,000 naira to the first 2 people on the list.
All right, sir.
Are they the list with you?
All right, sir. Oh, yes, I have it, sir.
50,000 naira is for you, please.
Baba.
That is my little support for your defense.
Baba, ẹ ṣé gan, sir. Ẹ ṣé.
That's not all. I will come to you later.
Baba, ẹ ṣé gan, sir. God bless you, sir. Ẹ ṣé gan. Amarinba, sir. God bless you, sir. I really appreciate it. Ẹ ṣé gan, sir. Ẹ ṣé gan, sir.
When I started my PhD program in LASU, incidentally, I was one of the 5, I think we were 5 in the the first set, the pioneer set of the PhD program. He volunteered to supervise me, so he was my supervisor at LASU. But beyond that, as a supervisor, I recall that I was ready for my pre-field. I had done my pre-field defense, and I was supposed to go to field. And then he kept asking me, what is holding you up? I said, Baba, I will do it. I don't know, maybe one of my colleagues that was in the know when to tell him that, it's because of when you that's why she has not gone to field. And one day, Baba just saw me on the ground and said, Ade, come. And as I went close to him, he took me into his office and then just dropped something into my hand. I said, go and do your work. And lo and behold, he gave me money to go and do my field work. Contributed, and I was stumped that a supervisor giving a supervising money to go and carry out our field work. It wasn't as if it covered what I wanted, but it was like a seed money. It was like he pushed me, to get what I needed. So
kí n tiẹ̀ wá fún ọmọ yìí gan kí n wò bóyá ọmọ yìí.
Ládé.
Ládé ẹ káàsán sà.
Ẹ kú iṣẹ́.
Ẹ sà.
Báwo ni nǹkan ṣiṣẹ́ ń lọ?
Adúpẹ́ sà.
Báwo ni iṣẹ́ bolódé?
Adúpẹ́ sà.
Ẹ múra sí i.
Yes sà. Yes sà.
Ẹ gbé léyìí. Ẹ bá mi gba eléyìí.
Àìwó tún lè lè. Daddy.
He knew how to manage people, and he had this emotional intelligence that is rare among people of that high caliber. So that for me stood out for Professor Lai Oso. He was disciplined. Yeah, he was disciplined,
but very compassionate. Apart from the academic relationship, Prof was the only supervisor I had that would call. And whenever he called, he was not just saying, "Where is your work?" The first thing he would ask is, "How are you? Oko enko, Oma enko, Bao nishe, Ubulishide, Teramo. You understand? Yeah, I'm tired. I think combative that he had, I said, he was very blessed with this emotional intelligence and spirit of discernment to always have an appropriate word for every situation to compose. Hello, Baba.
Hello, Khadija.
Hello, ẹ káàsán sir.
Ṣé àlàáfíà ni o?
A dúpẹ́ sir, àlàáfíà ni sir, a dúpẹ́.
Ọkọ ẹ̀ ń kọ́?
Ọwọ́ sir.
Ọmọ ẹ̀ ń kọ́?
Ọwọ́ sir.
Báwo ni iṣẹ́?
Iṣẹ́ ń lọ bàbá, iṣẹ́ ti pọ̀ jù, ó ti fẹ́ sùn mí.
Ẹ jára mọ́. Bó ṣe máa ń rí yẹn pẹ̀lẹ́.
Yes sir.
Nǹkan bá ti fẹ́ dá bó ṣe máa ń rí nìyẹn o.
Ó dẹ̀ sir.
Jára mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n.
Ó dẹ̀ sir. Máa dára mọ́ sir. Ẹ ṣé sir. Ó dẹ̀ sir, ẹ ṣé. Ó dẹ̀ sir.
A member of Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, now Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ARCON, in 2010. Nigeria Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, member of the Commonwealth Association of Education in Journalism, Commonwealth Journalist Association in 2011. As a pioneer president of the association, he built a consensus among scholarship in Nigeria and the diaspora, and one of the things he led the administration to do was the unbundling of mass communication curriculum.
Good morning, esteemed guests, members of the press, international organizations, regulatory bodies, my friend party, ladies and gentlemen. As many of you are aware, the field of mass communication has evolved over the years because of the social and technical development that has necessitated the need for us to look at our industry again. So for this reason, we need to see the content of our curriculum. This is why the Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals, under my leadership as the president, we have undertaken the task of unbundling the curriculum. So this is to afford our students updated knowledge, content that will enable them to perform optimally in the society as it demands. Today marks the culmination of months of collaborative engagement and dialogue. It is my honor to have in our midst representatives of international bodies, regulatory organizations, higher educational institutions who have contributed in the process. We have met severally, we have discussed, and eventually we are able to put together as the unbundling process that has produced 8 different distinct departments from communication in the communication industry. And this includes, among others, public relations, advertising, broadcasting, and so on.
He had been a pioneer at the School of Communication. And that also means that the whole idea of unbundling, as they put it now, unbundling mass communication or unbundling communication had actually started then. In fact, what we did originally with the School of Communication, with Lai Oso's influence and Professor Docu-Drama, was that we started with 7 departments. The School of Communication actually started with 7 departments, but we were opposed by everybody in Lasso. They said we were building empire, this, and we were Kilo Wanu Mascom. What's Mascom that you have 7 departments, this and that? So his idea for unbundling had always been there. We started it, they messed us up, but eventually NUC, National University Commission, now called us back, and they used Lai Oso as one of the consultants in unbundling mass comm in Nigeria, because he had always had that idea that mass comm it should be a multidisciplinary thing. It should be a faculty, not a department.
He had more than 70 publications in reputable local and international journals to his credit. He was a book lover and he loved to buy books. Professor Oso was known as the king of theory, or Oba theory, for his love for mass communication theories. There is no area in mass communication theory that was hidden to him. The only place in his house at Shagamu without books is the toilet and kitchen. No one tampers with his study. He doesn't allow anyone to clean his study because a piece of paper that can be disposed could be what he really needs the most at the moment.
Àti wá clean room. Àlàáfíà ni gbogbo wa ṣàyẹ̀ sà.
Okay, wá fẹ́ kẹ́ clean níbí báyìí.
Mo fẹ́ clean everywhere.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you lè bá mi o lè ṣe lẹ́yìn àti toilet.
Okay.
Sorry for my table, just leave them.
Okay.
Anything you see, please keep them on the table.
Sir.
Okay, my dear. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's just, if I have money, I will set up School of Communication Studies, Lai Oso School of Communication Studies. If to say I had the money. Because, the wife told me you cannot clean his study. Like children, like these children here, they wake up in the morning, go and sweep. He said, don't sweep. Small paper you sweep, it's something I want to use. He started an academic and he dies in that academic. That's the funniest part of it. And it makes me cry every time.
Talking about what you would love to be remembered from my own point of view, I want to be remembered for touching lives. That's just it. Professor Oso will not want people to cry, although when I say he doesn't want you to cry, if when you are supposed to be in class, you are not there. When you are supposed to take your CA, you are not there. When you now fail, he will allow you to fail honorably. But that for some other reasons you had problems, he doesn't want that. He will go out of his way to assist you. But if you take him from...
Oh, how are you? Excuse me, please.
Oh,
Are you alright?
I'm sorry, sir. It's just that my previous supervisor has not approved my project.
What happened?
I have a problem with my laptop and I've been here for over an hour.
Oh, you ought to have sorted that out and do your work on time.
I had a problem with my laptop, sir.
Oh, wow. So, who is the lecturer? Who is the person with lecturer in charge?
Dr. Slip, sorry.
Let's see. Let us see. Go to him.
Late Professor Lai Oso was very accommodating, amiable, almost to a fault. And when you see him amidst us, you will begin to wonder whether this actually is a big brother figure or just one of the boys. He wants you to see him as one of you. And so he relates with everyone like that. And when Prof comes around, he will not say, Dr. Lagwaja, Professor, everybody on first name basis. Yinka, kilo nse, jeka tu se báyìí. Yinka jẹ́ olùmọ̀ọ́sẹ̀ inaugural lecture, down, and dúró, àwọn boys ní retí o, you know. That is him in his natural element. No air of arrogance.
Káyọ̀dé, good morning.
Bàbá, ẹ káàárọ̀ sà.
Báwo ni ẹ kú iṣẹ́?
Yes sir.
Báwo ni iṣẹ́?
Sir, yes, sir.
Family ńkọ́?
Wọ́n gbogbo wọn
Ìyàwó
lọ́wọ́
ẹ̀
sà.
ńkọ́ jẹ́ láfẹ́ lẹ́wà?
Ọ̀dà tó ń lọ sà.
Ṣé àwọn mọ́tà ń cooperate sá?
Yes sir.
Iṣẹ́ wọn dáadáa?
Yes,
Ẹ kú iṣẹ́.
thank you sir.
Èwo lélẹ̀ yìí kọ́ yìí?
Wúkọ́.
Lékè mi mélòó yìí?
Àkóso wàhálà.
Yes sir. Ṣé thank you. Ṣé thank you. Ó mọ̀ pé mi kì í mu carbonate.
Okay, àkóso. Okay,
Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ pẹ̀lẹ́.
ẹ ṣé sà.
Okay.
I think the first factor which you have to No, it's the ease with which it bends with all classes of people. Remember I told you that one of the gifts that I didn't have is really to be a very flexible person. Osho was a very flexible person. It could relate with the highest, it could relate with the elite, and it could also relate with the lowest person. That's one. Two, Osho could also blend. It could blend between religion and ideological belief. I scorn religion a bit, even though I'm a nominal Christian. But he takes to faith very profoundly. He takes to faith in such a way that he doesn't question certain things. So, and he respects those who are supposed to be respected in religion. And at that point, I begin to look at it and say, what is wrong with this man that calls himself a professor? What is wrong with a man that is supposed to have a very vast understanding of life? And is still, in a way, still believing in some aspects of questionable religion and so. But that's the kind of the person Osho is. So he is a person that cuts across both divides of life, divides of principle and divides of pragmatism, and he bestrides the middle point in such a way that he founds his humanity, which serves him from the beginning and to the end. That's why at his burial you could see that cross-cutting levels of people attended burial and spoke glowingly about the kind of person he was.
A very family-oriented person. He, after God, was his family. So, very family-oriented. He assured us and he made us know that we were the best. So in everything we did, he gave us that assurance and confidence that whatever you do, see yourself as the best, put in your best in everything you do. And he wasn't afraid to go the extra mile for we, his children, even his students, friends, and colleagues. So it was, like I said, very family oriented. He gave us the confidence. And one thing about him was like a feminist to the core. He, not like putting the men at the back burner, but he felt that if a man has this opportunity, a woman should also have that same opportunity. So he advocated for women's rights, and he was always making sure that even as a woman, you strive to be the best, and invested in women too. So yeah. Right. Someone who like his morals, level of humility, and he's just someone that would, till his death, he would always talk every day. Like in the morning when I'm going to work, he's calling me, oh, are you on your way to work? Okay, take care of yourself while driving. And it's the same with my brother too. When he's coming back to work, he's like his road companion, driving from the island until maybe he gets to somewhere around Bega. It's like, okay, I have to go to bed now. We'll talk again later. So there's that fatherly presence every day. Like, he's someone that you're not afraid to discuss whatever is going on in your life with. Even with my husband or my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, they all saw him as a father, like very present, always ready to help during your challenges. He's always there with you. So
I will not forget the Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria, where he was the pioneer president. As a president of that body, he ensured that he built consensus among scholarship in Nigeria and in diaspora. And so he led the association for several years before he voluntarily relinquished his leadership as the pioneer president of the Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria. Part of the things he led the association to do at the time was the unbundling of the mass communication curriculum now to 8 distinct degree programs in Nigerian universities.
So Lai Oso, very charismatic, very, very charismatic. Wherever he finds himself, anywhere he gets to, you discover that he easily makes friends. And that has helped him a lot anywhere. And he will not say, oh, this one is Igbo, This one is high up there. He relates with everybody.
Bàbá ẹ káàsán sir.
Go on, doctor.
Yes sir. Ọ̀dọ̀ yín lè mú bọ̀ wá lókè o.
Oh, all right.
Mo fẹ́ rí fún communication research ni sir.
Oh, what about it?
Pàkóso àjọ ń take ìfẹ́ mọ ibi tí àwọn topics ẹ̀ fẹ́ take
Oh,
sáà
that's great. Don't worry, go ahead with it. So probably later in the week I should be able to give you some material.
Ẹ ṣe gan sir. Dàbọ̀ sir. Yes.
Well, asking how Professor Shaw would like to remember, I think in his lifetime he will tell you something. There's a word that I know Oga loved most. If he has done something for you and you are coming back to give him something, we say, don't give me anything. That same thing I have done for you, go and do this. Go and reciprocate the same to somebody later in life. And I think that was a big message in his lifetime. It's not after he wanted that spirit of mentorship to continue. And that is what I have taken up. I am trying. The shoes he left seems too big for anybody. I can't put my legs there, but at least I can manage to carry the shoes and see what can I do. And like anybody will say, is in our institution, in our department, is our model, is our gem, and you can't write history of this institution without a show. If any history about mass polio or protest is written and Osho's name is missing, that is not an history. It's a fluke. Nobody will read it. And a lot of people, we have been trying to immortalize him. I'm sure almost every institution where he has worked is trying to immortalize him. Very soon, by the special grace of God, we're going to hold we are putting up an annual symposium in his name. We are planning so much for him. A building is coming in his name. We're planning a building before his death. We call it Mass Communication Building, the Communication Building. It's going to be a very big building that will comprise all the lecturers' offices, all the studios. We have decided as a department that it will have to be named after him because he was our hero.
He was generous. He would just give.
Was my father, my mentor, my supervisor. He's like a leader that you look forward to.
Shaw was communication in Nigeria.
It takes to faith very profoundly.
Emotional intelligence that is rare among people of that high caliber.
You relate with everybody, just passionately like that.
They all saw him as a father, like very present, always ready to help. During your challenges, he's always there with you.
Simplicity. He doesn't like title.
Professor Lai Oso died on the 24th of June 2023 in a ghastly motor accident on his journey from Delta State University, where he went as an external examiner for 3 PhD students and 6 master students. May his gentle soul continue to rest in the bosom of God. His legacy will continue to live on. A missing treasure is a resting treasure.
Truly, good people rarely stay long. Good night, dear father, brother, husband, mentor, teacher, colleague, and friend. Osho, our treasure lives on forever.